Hi everyone. I'm back, as I said I would. Sorry it took a while. This conversation is very triggering, but for those of you that have been following, thank you. Those that are new, please take a moment to browse through my videos and look at the beginning of my series and what this entails. These are my silent cries, my truth, and my trauma with my journey through foster care and adoption. I just wanted to tell society to please stop labeling all children as bad. You never know what those children are going through at their homes. They could be seeking attention, not knowing what the difference between bad and good attention. No one's probably there to speak up for them, and they're too afraid to speak up for themselves. So here's me speaking up for myself. Yes, I'm late with this. I'm now 34. Majority of this happened in my childhood, but I had no one to speak up for me, and I was afraid to speak up for myself. So do you all recall the wooden paddles, like what they use in schools for corporal punishment? Yeah. I'm not sure if they still use those or not, but we had one at home also. But I'm guessing that wasn't good enough for her. She graduated to a 2x4 instead, like the full board, the full 2x4, not cut out into a paddle, nothing like that. It was an actual 2x4. I remember getting hit with that multiple times on multiple occasions. So this time I did take some advice. I wrote down, so if you see me looking away, I actually wrote down my words on paper so it would be easier for me to explain to you all. Okay? So I'm just gonna do this. So I couldn't have been more than 8, I believe at the time, getting hit by a 2x4. Could you imagine? If bamboo sticks and switches and everything wrapped around wasn't good enough, we graduated to what are they called? The cords, I can't think of it right now, but the cords, the 2x4s, things of that sort. So I am going to skip around a bit because I want to be able to touch each topic and be able to discuss everything. I'm not going to say too much detail because I do not want to get banned on TikTok, but please use your imagination. Okay? Not too much imagination, but just put 2 and 2 together. So I would sometimes go over our cousin's house at a very young age. One time it was just myself and my sibling alone with our females. Yes, I did say female cousins. We were called upstairs one morning. Our cousins proceeded to ask if we wanted some candy. Me not thinking too much about it, I did say yes. My cousin proceeded to say this is normal and what all kids do, and to keep it a secret and not to tell anyone, okay? So if this was normal, now that I think about it, or once I got older, I thought about it, and I'm like, if it's normal, why we have to keep it a secret? If this is what all kids do, why couldn't we tell anyone about it? Okay. Well, I got pulled in closer to her, and my mouth was placed on her breast. Yes, please use 2 and 2, put 2 and 2 together. Imagine what happened. It went from her breast to her area downstairs. Once again, if you know what I mean, please put that together. I guess, and guess what? At the end of it all, I got candy. Ooh. What? I don't want to say too much because it really upsets me when I think about it. And now I'm a mother of 4. 3 of them are girls and my little boy. I would never want my babies to experience what I experienced as a child. Who in their right mind tricks kids into performing sexual acts, oral acts, on them? Okay, so this is why I didn't want to show my face, because it's very triggering and emotional, and it's very sad. Well, later on, like months later down the line, we were in a car coming back from out of town, I believe, maybe from Mississippi or Arkansas. I'm not too sure. We were headed back to Georgia. And not sure what triggered us, but it was like a field of cows. I'm not sure if they were nursing their young or what, but we looked at each other and it's like, hey, that's what we did with our cousins at their house. It just came out the blue. Something triggered it. And our adopted mom looked at us. Well, actually, she looked. And then when we finally made it to our destination, she was like, what did you mean? Like, very concerning. Like, I thought she was concerned. So we proceeded to tell her what happened. But guess what happened after that? Nothing happened. Because although we told her, we were just telling her as normal. We still didn't think nothing much about it at that time. We were still very young. Nothing happened because we were still allowed to go over there after the freaking fact. Okay? We were still over there. But in the end, I'm guessing we were the ones punished for it all. How does that happen? How does the victims become the ones that's being punished? The reason why I say we were punished is because we were moved from the comfort of our bedrooms, the comfort of sleeping in the house with the rest of the family, to the freaking garage. We were moved to the garage. Of course, they attempted to fix it up, but that's not really fixing it up. It was a let-out couch, a TV, and a bucket. The bucket was first to use the bathroom in because the door would be locked to get into the house. The bucket stayed in the garage with us until the next morning. And then it all started again. We would eat in the garage, sleep in the garage. Only time we were in the house is to bathe. And then back to the garage. Eventually, when our other cousins or whatever would come over, they would visit us in the garage. We no longer had our rooms to ourselves. So I say that we were the ones punished. And let me remind you, we were still very young. But anyways, yeah, number 1 and number 2 into the bucket all night. So I believe we stayed in the garage till around age 11 when we moved to Arkansas, but I will get to Arkansas later on in the videos. Now, while living in Georgia, we will often take trips to Mississippi to visit our other adopted family, our other sides, on multiple occasions. We were dropped off at our uncle's house. Remind you, I'm around 8 or 9. We will all be in the kitchen, and for some reason, out of nowhere, he would make everyone else leave, and I'm thinking to myself as a kid, like, why can't I go play with them? I want to go play. It was morning times when this happened, so I was still in my nightgown, my pajamas. So my uncle all of a sudden come back, and I'm still in the kitchen, and he starts touching me under my nightgown. It went from touching to eventually inserting his fingers. Please use your imagination to put 2 and 2 together. That happened multiple times, separate occasions. I'm not going to say any names, and I wish I did say names at the time, because now I feel like he's dead, and I did not get any justice for this. None whatsoever. One time, I went to Mississippi by myself. I was dropped off at my grandpa's house, which is my adopted mom's dad. Was my adopted mother's dad. Our uncle came over there to visit while I was there by myself with my grandpa. I think my grandpa was there. I don't know. But it graduated from touching to inserting fingers to something else. I'll be back with the rest.